You dirty motherfucker, David. Ugh. Leave me on ring. The show.
Good cutting enhances the quality of good meat. Poor cutting results in an inferior piece of meat, regardless of quality.
Hello? No, I can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
Keep talking.
Check, check, check. How's that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound weak as
check,
fuck.
Check, 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 check. I do?
Okay, now I can hear you better.
That's better?
Yeah.
Okay. Good enough, or do you need more gain?
A little bit more gain, and then secure your headphones because I could hear delayed latency from me.
How about that? Is that better?
Check. Yeah. That's good.
Check, check. That's better?
It's better. It's not great. No.
Can you still hear it?
I'm going to turn you up on my end. Check. All right.
Check, 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 check.
All right. That's good enough. How are you, David?
Okay.
Oh,
not bad.
That's why I couldn't hear it. My computer was turned way too low. All right. That was mostly my fault. Mostly. Are you there, David?
You there?
Yeah. Okay, I could hear you.
My internet's having a really hard time because we're having this crazy windstorm here, and whenever the wind blows like this, my internet doesn't work super well.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's cool. It's only a problem when we're trying to, if I'm trying to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, just make sure I'm secure because a little bit of me sneaking in. I don't know. Maybe the latency is on my part. Hello?
How about now?
Perfect. All right, David.
Better?
Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Do you know what I say? I say Merry Christmas. Because I am a war on Christmas veteran.
Yeah.
Do you say Happy Holidays or do you say Merry Christmas? Hot takes.
I'm not super huge into celebrating Christmas, although I like to decorate for Christmas. I mean, no, I like Christmas, I guess.
I was going to say,
but I like the whole holiday season.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope we don't have a Scrooge on our hands here.
No. Like, my birthday's a week before, and then it's Christmas, and then it's New Year's. I really like New Year's Day.
Was that tough growing up?
I think that's something that's, it wasn't too bad because, December, to me, after Thanksgiving, it's like the holiday season and I get really excited. And being from Michigan, that's when like the snow really starts to fly and, the probability of having a snow day from school was pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. I would lay in bed every morning I'd like wake up at 4:00 in the morning and turn on the local radio station on my Sony Walkman and wait for the weather report.
No, did your parents give you one big combined gift, or did they make a point to make it separate?
It was a mixed bag, depending on what it was. Mm-hmm. When I was 10, I got a little kind of 12-inch antenna television.
Okay, nice.
And so I could watch baseball games, and that was like my big gift there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when I was growing up, for the big gifts, I would always argue because I'm November, which is nowhere close, but it's close enough when you're a kid. Be like, this could be birthday and Christmas, and then it never is because your parents cave and end up getting. They don't want you to open up nothing on Christmas, so.
Yeah. I've been trying to start this new thing where on Christmas we have like a feast and have a lot of food and get together, but on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day is when we exchange gifts because I like to give functional gifts, and I think giving a gift that's relevant to your goals for the next year is a more useful gesture, I think.
That seems like you got to know a lot about the person.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be buying gifts for just anybody.
Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, does your company do a white elephant, Yankee swap, dice game?
No, we had a Christmas party. Traditionally, Christmas parties have been held on a Wednesday or Thursday night for the company, and it was short, and then people didn't necessarily show up super well the next day. So this year we did it on a Friday night and went to the local Elks Club that we have kind of a good partnership going with, and it was great. It was short and it was sweet, and they, the Elks Club were able to host their bar and make a little money, and we didn't. It wasn't our alcohol, so that was good for us, and everybody kind of behaved themselves. Everybody was respectful and had a good time, and we were able to have a raffle so that everybody got something, which was exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was good. The community got together, and there was some really good gifts that different places donated. I was very, very surprised. Our kill floor manager apprentice went out and got a bunch of cool things. Like one person got won 3 trips to the chiropractor.
Whoa, that's useful.
Yeah, super useful. And then somebody else, I think, got some massages, and the one that I won a manicure at the local nail salon, but I traded that though.
Why? You don't like manicures?
Because I bite my nails.
And you're embarrassed?
I'm a nail biter.
Oh. Well, I'm sure you could have flipped it into a pedicure, David. Unless you bite your toenails.
Well, that's probably, that's gross.
Get that toe jam.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
How about you? What are you guys up to for the holiday?
Well, we had our company Christmas party I've been going to company Christmas parties all December. I went to Melissa's the first weekend, then my company did theirs, and then we just had one side of her family gift exchange last night. And then on Christmas Eve, we go to one family's house, and then Christmas Day we have brunch here, and then go to another family's house for dinner. So it's just all kinds of fun. And then hiding everything from Harrison, and then our company, we went to a Korean barbecue place that we went to last year, and it was really great last year. It was awesome. And this year, the service was atrociously bad. Like, how
where was it?
At a Korean barbecue place in Mount Vernon.
Oh, good. Very good.
Yeah. And my boss, bless his heart, he's been to Korea a couple times, with previous employers and things like that.
Oh, a connoisseur.
Yeah. So if you know anyone who's ever traveled abroad and then been to a restaurant themed after a place they have been to or traveled to, it is horrible. The things they will point out that are different than when they were there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's like almost as bad as sitting in a movie with somebody that's seen it before and they like narrate 3 seconds ahead.
Yeah. Or like seeing it with my mom for the first time, and she asked me what's going on the entire fucking movie. And it's like, Mom, we're in the same experience. I don't know. I don't know who he is. He was just introduced.
Yeah.
Usually the women cook.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
This comes at the end of the meal. Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, that sounds tough. That sounds pretty tough.
Yeah, I think also I've been on, keto, so that's why I wanted to go there. Was my vote is because it's very easy to just eat, meat at a Korean barbecue place. But there's no drinking there, and I drink liberally on my diet. But just coincidentally, earlier this week, I was diagnosed with pancreatitis. So that's fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
So that
man, that sucks.
Yeah, my doctor thinks it's linked to a high fat, high protein diet.
Yeah, dude, that's literally the same thing that happened to me 6 months ago when I found out I was having liver issues. Same deal, man. Jeez, I feel for you. I wouldn't. I mean, that's a big lifestyle change.
Yeah. So once hopefully, well, it's acute, not chronic. So I get blood work done Monday, and then they'll they go from there, because I want to be back to my casually drinking self. Yeah, my doctor's like, how much do you drink? And I was like, not that much. I don't know, like 5 drinks a week, maybe, cocktails. And she's like, okay, if it's 5 drinks a day for 20 years, then it would be alcohol related.
Yeah.
And then I just imagine, like, man, that would be fucking awesome. To have that much dedication to being an alcoholic.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that dedicated to anything.
No, I don't even know if I'm dedicated to this industry anymore. I'm joking, guys. No, I'm not. I don't know. Big Christmas sellers. What are you guys selling this year? We got unique orders down at the retail level?
Me?
And yeah, anyone in your company or been seeing any weird, unusual holiday trends or continuing?
Yeah, well, nothing. I'm kind of fortunate. I think that the brunt of that happens in the retail shop, obviously, as we both experience people, people that want to come in and get the full effect, as it were, I guess. Mm-hmm. I think I told a story about a fellow that ordered an entire fresh ham Trotteron one year and then picked it up on the 21st or 22nd and said, oh, no, that's not at all what I wanted, even though you told me that that's exactly what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I don't have to deal with that too much. It's, we have some, my company works with various retailers where we have our product, and we had some really great ideas by those retailers, kind of a little closer to the holiday than I would prefer. Mm-hmm. But we worked together and made it happen, and had a really constructive discussion about how we'll be planning the holidays for 2020 in May of 2020.
Okay.
And that's the kind of lead time I like to have. Give me 6 months.
6 months. Well, also, yeah. Also, it's
supply chain's hard.
Yeah, and it's cost effective to get your exports and things like that during that time of the year too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So, just little things to work on. I've had a lot of thoughts this time of the year when it comes to, I don't know, it's Q4. Everybody's getting their financial statements for the year back, doing your budget for the next year if you're not finished already. Mm-hmm. Planning throughput and whatnot, and so I think a lot of people are thinking about changes and innovations and improvements and things like that. How about you guys? Do you have any big lessons that you're carrying forward into 2020?
I have like personal lessons as far as like I can't force change on things that are out of my control. But again, I would like to have, as a wholesaler, orders in at a certain time, which I can't control. I would like to have, I want to have 3 lines running at the same time, but also that means someone who's not me has to find an outlet for all that product.
Yeah.
I want to get comfortable with staffing where people aren't going to feel reluctant to call in sick, because now everyone has this cold because one of our employees is like, I'm needed. And it's like, no, you're not. Like, you just came here, worked 20 minutes and got us all sick.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. And then just other things with training, and like, I want to be staffed better and utilize my current staff in the positions they were supposed to be in, instead of having cleaners work certain lines and things like that, where it's just like, stick to cleaning. You're a cleaning person. But I don't know. Like we did we finished our big company audit. We have things mapped out for the next year. We mapped out production, and we have conversations about huge potential growth. But then again, conversations are great, but need to have contracts.
Yeah, it's true. It's something I've learned this year. It's the most important thing is sales.
Mm-hmm.
Sales are more important than production, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, like we supplied a lot of local grocery stores with, their premium rib roasts this year, selling up to 6 week dry age exports and things like that. So our volumes increase. We just need to maintain and further increase, but also meet our labor costs, or also adjust for our labor costs, I guess. Because right now we're overstaffed.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Well, it's weird because
somebody always falls off, though.
Yeah. We're overstaffed and understaffed at the same time.
Yeah, heard. Same, actually. Yeah, so true. Do you have anything interesting that you'll be investing in internally next year that you think will be a game changer for you? Any big changes operationally or anything like that you're excited about?
The big possibility of bringing on a second shift, as far as for added value, which would allow me the option to work some split shifts, which I actually would enjoy that, because it would allow me to have. People don't understand how great it is to have a day off in the middle of the week.
Yeah, so true.
So you could like go to the bank or go to the DMV or go someplace, go out to eat where there's nobody, there's no traffic. I get to hang out with my son, things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that for a personal thing. And then taking on a split shift, I would personally like to work that into 410s or possibly 312s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be beautiful.
But if I think it's in California. If part of the plant works different hours, the entire business has to work those hours. Do you have that issue in Washington?
I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that, though. What do you mean then?
Well, for instance, we used to my plant used to be 410s,
mm-hmm.
and now it's 5/8s.
Yeah. And
if we want to change back to 410s, we have to take a plant vote and then get it okayed by the state of California. From what I understand so far.
Oh. Yeah. No, I don't think we have to do that here. Washington doesn't really favor the worker as much as you would think. But
unless you're Jeff Bezos, unless you're a super hard worker like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. I see those guys. They deliver packages to my house at 3 a.m.
Here's what drives me crazy. I'm going to rant. I'm going to get real crotchety here for a second.
All right. Do it.
This really chaps my ass right here. Okay. Okay. So walking out of a Whole Foods market,
mm-hmm.
there's a table. Now, I'm not trying to shit on Whole Foods. I definitely worked there for a long time and had a great time.
A lot of our listeners listen to Whole Foods. A lot of our listeners work at Whole Foods.
Yeah. Shout out to Bellevue Meat Department, because that's one of the best crews I've ever worked on. But so you walk out of a Whole Foods market right now, and they've got a table set up.
Mm-hmm.
It's for donations to feed the hungry. Okay.
Okay.
Washington has a massive homeless issue.
Yes.
The owner of Amazon is the wealthiest person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't pay a cent of income tax to the state of Washington last year.
Yeah.
And has the unmitigated gall to say, of the shit that you just bought from me, give me some of it back for free so that I can donate it to someone who needs something. For Christ's sakes, if that guy spent less than 1% of everything he has, he could feed and clothe the world several times over.
Yeah. The thing that people, I don't know, I'm borderline about to get political.
I know.
There isn't right. There isn't left. There's people at the top and people at the bottom. And people I like nice things. I work hard. I like buying shit. I'm a capitalist through and through. But people have put this idea, everyone has in their head that this is their come up story, right? So people don't shit on the rich because people are like, well, this is my come up story. One day I'll be rich.
Yeah.
So you got the millionaires and billionaires. People always think they're in the same club. But they're not. If you were to make $1 for every second, it would take you 12 days to be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love this stat, by the way.
If you were to make $1 for every second, it would take you 31 and a half years to be a billionaire. So that's a huge, that's miles and miles apart. So I don't know. I was just talking to people and they were talking political stuff, and take what I said as whatever. But I'm not going to vote for someone who's actively going to try to destroy and profit off of the working class. I don't understand how people could vote outside of their best interest. I don't know. It's just distraction. It's not. Politics is just a distraction to make money.
Yeah, totally.
All right. That's it for vague politic corner.
Yeah. We don't want to get our inbox like blown up over the holiday weekend. So let's just leave that there.
Yeah. I don't think that was that bad.
No. I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad at all.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of sensitive Sallys out there.
Yeah. 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 It's everyone just thinks like, man, I don't want to, mess with billionaires because what if I'm a billionaire? If you're listening to this, you're not, and you never will be. Statistically.
Yeah. That's what my dad says too.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was a billionaire, then I wouldn't want people coming after my money. Dude. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, I'm about to even go further. It's not that these people made their money either. It's inherited wealth that they're hoarding. Anyway, I'm done.
Yeah. So back to exciting goals and procedures for the following year. Do you have anything else?
I'm going to be a billionaire.
Yeah, there you go.
This next year. No, I don't know. Like personally, outside of work, I would like to get some work done around the house. Possibly build a tiny house in the back.
For me?
Yeah, for you to come and visit anytime. My personal real goals is to go fishing more and work out, and not just rely on diet to maintain a slimmer physique actually work on my body.
There you go.
What about you? Professional, then go to personal.
Professional goals. I would like to implement a leadership training course for all levels of, managers and aspiring managers within my plant.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have a comprehensive product specification guide, as well as a well-paced and thorough new product development program.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have solid leadership in place so that I can focus on 40,000 foot stuff, and I think that's about it for now, goals wise, for professional things. Personally, I'd like to get back out on the weekends and do some farm kills here and there. I'd like to play my guitar more. I would like to figure out how to, I don't know, someday I'd like to work remotely and live in Oregon and Washington again. That's a big personal goal.
Yeah.
And I'd like to take a vacation to Patagonia.
Really?
Yeah, I super want to. It doesn't have to be like anything fancy, but it just seems like I would like it down there.
This year?
I don't know. Or like, at least have a plan.
Okay. Have it booked.
Yeah, maybe something like that, or have a little bit of money set aside or something.
Me and Melissa have never been on an actual vacation.
No? Mm-mm. Aside from just like short things, visiting family, but nothing like just for you guys.
Yeah. Not like we've been like a weekend in Palm Springs is nothing when you live in Southern California.
Yeah, so true.
We've done that. We've, visited family. I gotta go. Melissa just texted me saying Harrison threw up. David.
Yeah.
All right. We were just talking about how you've never been to Patagonia, and I've never been on vacation. Then my son threw up for the second time this night. First time involving changing the sheets where he sleeps, and now changing the sheets where I sleep. So
sounds like he had too much Korean barbecue, eh?
Yeah. No, we go to this place called Margaritos. It's actually called David's, but it's actually not called either of those. It's called Dos Agaves. And Harrison just ate too much, but he calls it Margaritos because we all drank crazy margaritas when we're there, except for him. But maybe when we weren't looking, maybe that's why I threw up. But yeah.
Yeah, he's crafty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what else are you looking forward to?
Let's see, some things I'm looking forward to. Just tightening up efficiencies in the plant and applying some new things that I learned this year about manufacturing in general. And actually, I'm going to grab my notebook. Hold on, pause it.
Okay, David.
So I actually have a list of books that I want to share that I think people might find interesting. Books that I've read over the last year that I think can be pretty useful in a manufacturing sense or even just a productivity sense. Could be applied to a shop or to a slaughter business, to a packing house, whatever. The first book on my list is called The Goal. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of that one?
No. What? Tell me more about The Goal.
It's called The Goal. It's on Audible. It's a pretty great book, and it was written a long time ago. It was written in the 70s, but I think it's really still very applicable. So if you can kind of stomach the rampant misogyny and just sort of weird 40 or 50-year-old sensibilities of people and listen to the message, it's really interesting. And basically, it's a lesson taught through a story, and the idea is that there's this plant manager and his boss has given him an ultimatum. He says, you've got 90 days to figure out how to turn the plant around or else we're going to shut you down. And there's a lot more nuance to that. And I just want to share a couple of things that I took from it that I thought were super interesting, and highly encourage people to listen for themselves. It's really interesting. So one of the fundamental questions that they pose in the book is they ask, what is the goal of any business?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What do you think it is?
I
didn't get it right.
What do I think it is? The goal of any business?
Yeah. What's the goal of a business?
Well, I don't know. Sustainability, so it could be in business for a while, make money.
Okay, well, that's one way of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes a couple chapters to get to the answer. But the answer is the goal of any business is to make money.
Oh, well, that's what my original thing was going to say, but I didn't want to sound like a dick.
No, it sounds so simple, right? I mean, it seems really simple, but it's not the first thing that comes out of our mouth. So it's kind of interesting because I'm sure we all in various ways are measured. Our productivity or the productivity of our teams are measured in different key performance indicators, and we have all of these different metrics that are really clever and interesting and extrapolate data about production. But they're talking about how on paper they look super efficient, but how they have all of this inventory stacked up and they're backlogged on orders and they don't know how to get caught up. And it's really interesting the way that they discuss productivity. And so there's this part where they're talking about productivity and they say that productivity can be, productivity can be basically evaluated by 3 metrics only.
Mm-hmm.
The first of those is, and this, I thought that this really changed my perspective. The first of those 3 metrics is throughput. They define throughput as the rate at which the system generates money through sales, not production. So it's the rate at which the system generates money through sales. That's throughput, because just because you have a plant, you have to think about the business as a whole system, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so if you have a plant that's really efficient and is producing all of this inventory and they have no sales to match it, you're not really productive. So the second metric, and again, they go through and explain this in a much more eloquent way as you go on. There's more details, but this is just to kind of get your appetite whet. The second metric is inventory, and they define inventory as the money that the system invests to purchase materials that they intend to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third metric is operational expense. And they define that as the money the system spends in order to turn inventory into throughput. And I thought that was really fascinating. And they go through to talk about different ways to apply those metrics through a story. And it's actually fairly engaging. And there's a couple, there's some kind of like steamy marital issues going on and some interpersonal things. And, but this is pretty fascinating. And one of the things that they talk about is, I don't want to spoil anything here, but one of the things that they stumble on is that the overall pace of a plant should never be any more than the flow of product through a bottleneck. And
Mm-hmm.
every system always has a bottleneck. So if you spend all your time trying to eliminate bottlenecks, you just create more. So you have to accept your bottlenecks, make them as efficient as you can, of course, but accept your bottlenecks and make the overall output of your plant and the operations on either side of the bottleneck match the throughput of that particular station or part of the flow. And that was like really groundbreaking for me. So I highly suggest this book to anybody that is kind of new to manufacturing or just understanding production metrics in general. I think it's a really juicy book to get into.
And again,
second book on my list. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, name that book.
It's called the name of the book is The Goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's found on Audible. If you're like me, it's hard for me to find time to sit and read, but it's a lot easier to multitask when I'm driving or when I'm at home making dinner, listening to the book. And I've already put, this is an 11-hour book, which is pretty short, relatively, and I got through it quite quickly. And it's written by a fella named Eliyahu M. Goldratt. And it's The Goal, a process of ongoing improvement. Super interesting book.
Nice.
It introduces something called the theory of constraints. And this book basically changed how America does business. So I highly, highly recommend it. And it kind of touches on lean manufacturing. And that's probably something that we should do an episode about in the future, is like just the concepts and rules of lean and whatnot. I know that's something that you know a lot about, and you've implemented in your plant and had great results with it since you've been there.
Yeah, I like it. I think we should definitely do in depth and why and how, and look at it just
talk about the wastes. The wastes in general. It's amazing how much waste there is in a plant. Obviously we're not just talking about material waste here. We're talking about waste of all kinds.
Waste of time. Is just think of, when I was trained, it was like you start thinking about how many strokes you take on certain things, and then, the efficient way to do it to put less, strain on your body and things like that. It all breaks down into calculation.
Yeah, I was just explaining to a new teammate on the kill floor about skinning, and how all of the greatest skinners I've ever worked with have a very rigid pattern that they skin, and they never deviate from it. And that's just really basic lean mentality.
Oh yeah, and you could just always tell when someone's new by seeing their score marks are like 6 inches long versus those beautiful like half side mark. Oh yeah, it's so great to see someone who actually knows how to use a skinning knife.
Yeah, it's awesome. Another book that I'd really like to share with the audience, I think I mentioned this one before. It's called Radical Candor. And this book is told first person by someone who's worked in the tech industry. So a lot of it's not super relatable, because at first it was kind of off-putting because it was talking about a lot of rubbing elbows at, Twitter and Google and Apple and all of these giant companies. But again, at the heart of it, there's a message and there's a lesson there. And this book talks about a style of communication that involves setting boundaries and setting expectations, while also, personally connecting with the people that you're speaking with. So, it was a big game changer as far as management for me, because it allowed me to form stronger relationships with people that I worked with directly, a lot of my direct reports, and my boss as well. And it kind of laid out a framework in which I was able to, like I said, set boundaries, set expectations, connect, and find a much more efficient, to the point and comfortable way of speaking about frank subjects. It's a great book. Again, it's a short one on Audible. I think it's less than 10 hours, if I remember correctly, and I highly, highly recommend it. The reader has just the most monotone voice ever, but it's really interesting, and I did take a lot from that one.
And again, the name of that book?
Radical Candor.
Radical Candor. Hope you guys are writing this down. I'll put it in the show notes.
A third one.
Upload this tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, please. A third one that I would highly, highly recommend. It's called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. This one's another one that's it's read through the lens of a story, and it's about a management team that works together in a sales-based company, and each character has a set of personality traits that all of us will find very relatable. Everybody has somebody on their team, like the people in these teams, and they talk about how to get over the communication issues and the ego issues, and you don't have to like everyone on your team, but you have to find a way to work together. And they show you how through a dialogue. And it's a very short book. I think this one's only 5 hours long, and that's a breeze. I mean, it really goes by very, very quickly. I highly recommend that. That one again is called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni.
Nice. So, guys, listen to that so you know how to work with your Jeremys.
Yeah. Let's see. A couple other ones that I highly recommend. Any of the Harvard Business Review HBR guides. They have one for project management, one for leading teams, one for finance basics for managers, better business writing, managing groups. There's a whole series of them, and they're really easy to read, and they're quick, but they're super full of information. So if there's any new managers or new supervisors out there, I highly, highly recommend going through the HBR or Harvard Business Review guides. They're very short, but super full of information, and they're all about 3 hours long if you're going to listen to them. And they're, again, all on Audible.
Nice. I saw a meme.
I've got a whole list, man.
Oh, nice. Well, put together the list. I'll put it on my Instagram and the show notes and everything like that.
Yeah, will do.
Yeah. I saw a meme where it was the book, Everything I Learned at Harvard. And then the right next to it was the book, Everything Harvard Didn't Teach Me. And
interesting.
And the quote was, everything you ever needed to know in the entire universe is in these 2 books.
Wow.
Well, that's the joke there. Because
I like it.
Yeah. I think another one of my goals is to, well, one, I got the World Butchers Challenge in September, so I need to.
Wait, it's in September? Why did I think it was in the spring?
No, September.
Oh.
And September 5th. So I got to do a lot of stuff with that. So that's not really a goal. I just need to be the best that I could which is, I also just need to do what I'm good at, but not get in my head. That makes sense. And I would like to explore other ways of creating income is another goal of mine as well.
Yeah, same.
I have the Patreon going again. Check it out. Yeah, but I'm just interested in seeing. I have some prongs in the fire, but I want to hopefully some things pan out.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping we can do a couple more consulting projects in 2020.
Yeah, I'd like to as well. I've gotten a couple inquiries, but this time of the year is awful.
Well, if anybody out there is in a NOE, if you need someone to write your systematic, robust approach to humane handling, if you have any questions about food safety, writing HACCP plans,
general flow, and management training tools, let us know.
Yeah. Or if you're a homesteader or farm setter and want to talk about farm kills, to feed your family and your neighbors.
Yeah. Or how to responsibly get rid of bones and things like that because, you're in an unhappy marriage. Let us know.
Yeah.
I'm saying David will kill your wife. Do you know what was your highlight of this last year, real quick?
Highlight of this last year. Wow.
This last decade. Year, then decade.
No, I can't do the decade. Let's see, the highlight of this last year.
Because we're closing out a decade in a week, David.
It's true. Well, that'll be our next episode.
Okay.
Of 2019, I think probably... Man, that's a tough one. I ate some really, really good food in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What about you? What's yours?
Chicago was really fun. We didn't get to hang out that much, but just walking the floor and doing those demos was fun. Doing stuff with the team is fun. I'm going to go skiing next week with Harrison for the first time, so I imagine that will be one of the best ones.
Nice.
Harrison caught his first fish this year. And I got a lot of great feedback when you said you had to go to the bathroom, and I just kept recording that one time. A lot of people enjoyed that. So, yeah.
One of my highlights, there was a day where I took a really long bike ride and had a picnic. That was good. That was a good day.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I've taken some really, really good hikes in the Siskiyou Mountains this year, too. That's been really good.
Yeah. One of my goals is to enjoy the water more.
Yeah, there you go.
I see it every day when I wake up, but like oddly enough, I have so much other shit that I can't even enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm hoping by the end of 2020 I've got a plan for how to restart my flock too. That's another one.
Yeah.
Anyways, I could ramble on about this, but I think what would be great is if our listeners could send us a list of their goals, and we could read some goals off next year and just put those out into the world. And
yeah, I'll send out a banner.
Be really
tomorrow.
Intentional. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So, all right. Until next time, keep your knives sharp
and live in the margin.
All right. This is the Meat Block. I'm Travis, and
David.
There's delayed latency. All right. Bye.